Hello everybody, my name is Jack Billings, CEO and founder of shedknives, and today I'm going to be talking about being the change you want to see in the world. This is a little different of a topic than what I'm used to. I'm generally showing knife stuff around the shop and machining things and making stuff, but today it's going to be a little different concept. But before we get into that, I have a few things to show off. Number one, what are you carrying today? I have two knives. I have the 2023 shedknives Skewer and then the Kershaw Iridium. I believe that's how you say it. So both of these knives have a folder and a fixed blade. Check out the thickness difference, by the way. This is just under a 1/4 inch. This is like 3/16, if not smaller. But anyways, two cool blades. The 2023 Skewer is sold out right now, but it will be coming back for 2024, so you can check that out when the release happens. But if you want to get a similar model, you can go to shedknives.com, check it out, because there's quite a few left in stock. So let me know what you're carrying down in the comments. I want to start that up because the shedknives community is growing, and it's growing very fast. And there's been a lot of really good questions, comments, statements, just stuff in general that you guys have been commenting and engaging with. So I want to kind of add to that and just let me know what you're carrying. Let's get into the topic, being the change you want to see in the world. All right, well, first off, I got this topic from Dave over at PiperDave23, so shout out to you. I'll tag Dave down below. I encourage you to go watch his videos. Subscribe, like, whatever you want to do, comment that you were sent from shedknives. But anyways, Dave is my business mentor, and he started his YouTube channel based on piper stuff, like the pipe community, so showing off tobacco, pipes, but he's been getting into some really deep topics. And I was listening to a video he did a few weeks ago on being the change you want to see in the world. And I thought he had a really good message, so I just wanted to kind of touch on that and give it another perspective that you guys can listen to. So anyways, thank you, Dave. Thanks again. Go check him out. Tag him down below, and let's get started. So, being the change you want to see in the world, what does that mean? Well, to me, it means if you want the world to be kind, you should be kind. If you want the world to be angry, you should be angry. If you want the world to be happy, you should be happy. That's my first impression with it. That's what I believe it means. You may think it means something different. But being the change you want to see in the world, how do we actually do that? And how does that relate to the knife community specifically and the outdoors? So I want to touch on the outdoor perspective. I used to work at Rodney Scout Reservation in Maryland. I was a sailing instructor on the Chesapeake Bay. I did a variety of other jobs as well. I was assistant shotgun director. I taught kayaking. I did the mile swim twice. I did all sorts of stuff there, both as a scout and on staff. So I was on staff. My last year was 2019. So there was a rule for staff at the camp that you should always have a trash pocket. A trash pocket, basically, if you're walking down a trail and you see a candy wrapper, we'll say, laying on the ground, you pick it up and you put it in your trash pocket. And why we do that? We do that for a few reasons. Number one, to keep the camp clean, because it's over 900 acres, so you gotta keep it clean. Number two, it's to set the example for the other scouts. There would be anywhere 500 to 900 scouts per week when I was there. And that would set a really good example, because they'd see a staff member picking up trash, or the staff member would see some scouts walk by trash, and then they'd pick it up. So it set a really good example, and that was being the change you want to see in the world. By picking up the trash that you want to take care of. You want the environment to be clean, so you pick it up, you do your part, and then in return, other people will begin to do the same thing. So that's a little experience I have with that. Also, just in general, outside of the outdoors, just in a life perspective, I was thinking on the way here this morning about how do I say this? How your perspective, if you start to bring that out to the world, you'll begin to see very fast if it is a respected view or if it is a not so respected view. Okay, if I believe, now this is not the truth, but we'll just say I believe the entire world should be angry. Okay, so being the change I want to see in the world, I'm going to start to be an angry individual. Well, when I start to do that, I'll probably begin to see that I'm not really accepted, that ideology, that perspective is not very respected and accepted into the world. Now that's okay. There's sometimes that's okay. Now being angry for whatever is not okay in my opinion. And really just overall it's not okay. Now for picking up trash, that may not be a very accepted ideology or an accepted perspective, but that's okay because you're doing something good for the world. So just because it's good doesn't mean it will always be accepted, and just because it's bad doesn't mean it will always be rejected, if that makes sense. So you have to be kind of careful on, okay, well, just because your perspective is rejected in the world doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. So today, in the modern world, there is a lot of modern stuff that just should not be around. There's a lot of just complaining, weakness, just personal disappointment, not me personal disappointment, but disappointment amongst people all around the world because they just aren't stepping up to the plate. They're just, well, that's how it is. There's a lot of that going around in the world, and that's becoming more and more accepted. Just because it's accepted does not make it right, okay? I had a teacher, going back real quick, kind of going off on a side tangent, but anyways, I had a teacher in, I believe it was 7th grade. He had pretty much the entire length of the classroom. There was a banner, and it said, just because it's cool doesn't make it right, and just because it's right doesn't make it cool. So it's just kind of showing that even though it's cool to do something, might not be right. Even though it's right to do something, it might not be cool. So you just have to be careful with that. But being the change you want to see in the world, what are a few things, I want you to think about this. What are a few things you can do to be the change you want to see in the world? Picking up trash that you see, that's a good one. That's a good start, something very simple. Okay, it's pretty simple. But I'll give you something for me, for knives, all right? A lot of knife companies do not have the vision I have. Just saying it, okay? A lot of companies do not. A lot of companies are cash hungry. They're full of ego. And sure, I have a big ego at times, all right? Sure, I want to make money. That's great. I think we all do, all right? But the difference is a lot of these companies do not keep the customer in mind. I try my very best to keep the customer in mind. And my goal, part of the change I want to see in the world, is how can I best make stuff for the customer? How can I make the most quality pieces in the world for affordable prices, for accessible prices, for accessible places, you could say. So my knives are, you're able to get them in a variety of different places, both in person, online, at events, wherever. So that's part of the change I want to see. I want to see the knife industry be more customer focused, because there's so many brands out there. I won't name them yet, but there's so many brands out there that just, they have so many upset customers, so many upset people, and they won't do anything about it. They're just, okay, cool, 1 in a million. Where I see, doesn't matter if I have 2 customers or 2,000 or 2 million, it does not matter. Each person plays a role in the business. Like, think of a beach, Okay, there's a lot of grains of sand on a beach, but without each grain of sand, you would not have the beach. Or at least you would not have the sand on the beach. So I view each person who buys my knives, who contributes to Shed Knives in some sort of way, I value that. And that's some of the change I want to see in the world. I want to see other companies take the same perspective. If I get a review or some feedback from a customer that isn't necessarily positive, guess what? I view that as positive because they told me, hey Jack, this needs to be better, okay? And then I take it and I say, great, a few other people feel this way, I'm gonna go make it better. And then that's why the shop changes so much. I just posted a video yesterday showing off the shop. It changes multiple times a year. It's because when I get an email about feedback, hey Jack, could we increase the height of the grinds? Guess what? I increase the height of the grinds. This is my original 2023 model. Let me grab a new one. You can see the height increase in the grinds. That was an email. That was someone who requested the grinds get higher. So I listen, at least I try to listen. I do my best. You don't see every email. I try to read every email. But I want other businesses, other knife companies specifically, to bring on this perspective and be the change they want to see in the world. All right, folks, so I'm going to wrap this up with a few final thoughts. And while you've been thinking through this video, let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments so we can get a good conversation going down there. But anyways, a few things I believe that we should have in the world and that I am trying to do for the world. I believe we should be more accepting of other perspectives. For example, there's a lot of people in the world today, in the modern world, who say we need to be more inclusive. We need more inclusion. We need more inclusion in business. We need more inclusion in the workplace. We need more inclusion everywhere. Until someone comes along with a different perspective, then it's bad. Oh my gosh, no, that's threatening, that's harmful, we can't have that. Well, they have a different perspective. Wouldn't you want to have someone with a different perspective, different maybe mindset possibly, all working towards the right things, of course. But I believe that it's okay to have people in the world who disagree with what you're saying. There are probably going to be people who disagree with this video, and guess what? That's okay. Not everybody can think like Jack Billings. Not everybody can think like you, and that is okay. That is just fine. And if you disagree, great. That's fine. Tell me why you disagree. I'd like to know. I'm not seeking disagreement. I'm not seeking agreement. Just simply throwing this out there for thought. That's really what it is. So I believe in today's world we need to be more accepting of difference in a respectable way, if that makes sense. We can't necessarily let everyone just run wild and do as they please and just that's that. If someone believes they should commit robbery or arson or whatever, doesn't mean we should, no, oh, I'm accepting of that, great. No, what I mean by that is, and I bring this up a lot in different conversations with family and friends, if someone disagrees with something, I say, okay, great, tell me why, I'd like to know. That's really what I'm getting at. I believe the world should be more full of that. We should be quick to listen, not quick to respond. I try my very best, and I'm getting better with this, when someone has a differing opinion. Jack, well, we'll use USA made knives. I believe all knives should be USA made. Someone may come along and say, Jack, I disagree with you. I think all knives should be made in China. I will sit there and say, okay, great. Tell me why you think that. I'd like to know. And that's it. And then hopefully we can have a good conversation. My perspective may not change. Their perspective may not change. But hopefully we'll be able to learn something about ourselves and about the other person through that conversation. And to me, that is a good improvement in the world, because now we understand where that other side comes from, and that can kind of minimize the larger problems, I guess, through the world. So just by understanding, yeah, this person reacted that way because of X. This group responded this way to this other group because of Y. Okay, that's really what I'm getting to. So what change do you want to see in the world? I'm curious, what change? Whether it's in the knife industry, whether it's in the outdoors, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in the economy, wherever it is, let me know, what change do you want to see in the world? And what are some ways you can become that change? So thank you all for watching. If you like knives, like this 2023 skewer, you can go to shedknives.com, check it out. Be sure to hit the subscribe. The Shed Knives community is growing very, very fast, my friends. It is growing very fast, and it's a mix between me posting way more videos and also you guys bringing more, just contributing more to Shed Knives. So I really appreciate that, and man, this is growing. The Shed Knives movement is growing, and it is growing fast, my friends. My newest platform is Reddit, so you can go check that out. You can go post a photo of your knife, go ask a question, go comment to someone else's post, and that way we can get more conversations going there. All right, my friends, if you support 100% USA-made knife companies like Shed Knives, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can join a community of like-minded individuals who support the same thing you do. If you know someone who may find value in this video, who may have a different thought, may have a different perspective, or may have an agreeing perspective, they can give their 2 cents down in the comments. Hey, be sure to share the video with them. That way we can spread the good message. All right, my friends, that brings me to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. My name is Jack. I make knives, and I'll see you in the next one.